How's it going, everybody? This is Jonathan Thompson, the creator of this video you are presently watching. I am here to talk to you guys a little about the mock interviews you will be doing, a little bit of know-how, some hints and tips, and really how it all works. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, everybody, so there's 3 things you want to remember for the setup of the mock interview. First thing, make sure you have plenty of water and feel free to drink it. It's okay. Second thing, make sure you have your scripts. You're obviously going to want to know which questions you will be asking and when you will be asking them. And lastly, make sure that you have the company name on the board. It's very simple and it helps the audience know which company you're interviewing for. A first impression is extremely important. It starts as soon as you come into the room. There's a couple things you can do. First thing, make sure you make eye contact with everybody that you introduce yourself to. Second thing, make sure that you have a good, solid handshake. And lastly, just make sure you're smiling. This is all about selling yourself. So make sure you have a good appearance, a smile on your face, a positive attitude, and show them that you want the job.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Well, thanks for coming. Well, thank you guys for coming. You guys can go ahead and have a seat. And we also have some water for you. Thank you for coming to RISEC Group. I'd first like to introduce myself. My name is Katie. This is my associate Florian, Brett, Kristen, and James.
Don't forget that even though you are the interviewer, it is just as important for you to have a positive attitude and make sure that the interviewees feel welcome. Okay, so in the introduction, the interviewers are going to explain the format and structure of the interview. It is important to be clear and concise in this explanation because interviewees must know how long their responses should be and if they will have an opportunity to ask questions in the end. Watch this guy right here. He's very clear and very concise.
Catherine and Jessica, you know you're here for a job interview with Bridget Collins' house. This position is a case manager position. What we're going to be doing is about a 12-minute interview. In order to stay under time and make sure that you have the opportunity to ask us some questions at the end of the interview, we would like to ask that you keep your question answers to between a minute and 30 seconds if possible. If at any point you need further clarification, don't hesitate to ask. We have provided water for you, so if you need to take a drink, go ahead. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started with the interview.
There are a variety of questions that the interviewers may ask you. There is situational questions, behavioral questions, educational questions, and unrelated questions. And almost all questions will fall into those categories. So it is important to prepare for all different kinds.
James, our product transports thousands of people every day. How would you make sure all our products are compliant with FAA regulations?
Okay, Lorian, what are some challenges you have faced from working with groups, and how have you overcome them?
This question is for Hannah. As you might already know, we're the fastest growing internet subscription service. What would you do if you were put under this much stress level?
Okay, Kelly, how would you handle an angry parent who is requesting confidential information for their child?
Okay, Paul. You planned a vacation, okay? We approach you 3 days before you're supposed to leave and need you to attend a trade show for the new products that are coming out. What would you do?
David, it states in your resume that you have strong communication skills. If there was a conflict between you and a customer, what steps would you take to resolve this?
So Paul, this question's for you. How would you relate your educational experiences to this position?
Question for you. We are a passion-driven company dedicated to customers. What types of work experience have prepared you for this position?
Katie, this first question is for you. Why did you choose your given area of study, and how do you see that decision benefiting you here at Washington Mutual?
Well, it was actually difficult to choose communication.
Lorian, Washington Mutual is a major player in the banking industry. What do you believe sets Washington Mutual apart from their competitors?
Who do you look up to, and why?
Lauren, if you had an entire day to do whatever you wanted, what would you do and how would you spend that day?
This one's for Aaron. Western Washington University is in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Explain why you like this area and why you chose to attend also.
The most important thing you can do is just try and relax, be natural and smooth. A couple things you need to focus on. Have good voice inflection. Demonstrate enthusiasm. Show them that you want the job and show them that you are qualified for the job. And that is where you show confidence. Be confident. Remember, you are a salesman for yourself. Alright, so check out these people. They use very good voice inflection. They're natural, smooth, they demonstrate enthusiasm, show confidence, and most of all, they're professional.
David, it states in your resume that you have strong communication skills. If there was a conflict between you and a customer, what steps would you take to resolve this?
Well, I think the first steps that need to be taken are ones that will help to diffuse the situation. Let them know that there are no hard feelings, that there may be a difficult situation and a conflict, a disagreement, but that you will work to take the steps necessary to resolve that conflict in a way that's going to best suit the customer, because the customer is really first. And as I've noticed, RiseX really does work to make sure that the customer receives the service and the products that they are looking for. And so if there's a conflict with a customer, I would definitely make sure that I'm clear about RiseX standpoint, or the perspective that they're coming from, and our capabilities and the things that we're able to do in order to meet their needs. Making sure that they understand where we're coming from is vital in making sure that they know that we're taking every steps possible to have a satisfying and effective business transaction and ultimately friendship with them.
I just wanted to reiterate something because
Well, Brett, as an employee for Gensco, we all receive discounts on products, and that applies to our family as well. But in a situation where a friend asks you to buy them a product, how would you respond to that?
Well, I think if it's against policy to give your friends discounts, I think I'd follow the policy and be against it too. I know that Gensco has a profit sharing plan, so it's going to take away, if I'm out hooking up my friends, it's going to take away from all of our profit sharing. So, but if it is legitimate for to hook up family members, I could do that. But yeah, I'd probably stay away. Be a good thing to stay away from.
Remember, plan your responses before speaking. You don't have to speak right after they ask the question. You can pause. Use your pauses effectively to plan your next action.
In your opinion, what is your #1 character flaw and your #1 quality?
Can I take a minute on that?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
I wouldn't say that I have a #1 character flaw, because I pride myself in my character, and I was raised right by my family. But something that I could definitely work on, and which I believe that working in Boeing would help me to better this characteristic, would be handling conflict properly. I know that Boeing has procedures on handling conflict, so that would give me a regimen to be able to follow, and maybe hopefully give me ideas on how to not only handle conflict within being employed at Boeing, but also just me as a person. So that being a negative character, call it as you will. Okay, my #1 characteristic is positive would be I'm a man of my word, and I'm dedicated to my work. Like I said, I believe in excellence. I shoot for the moon. I don't look at the clouds. I know Boeing is also that type of a company where you just established a new world headquarters in Chicago, which just speaks volumes right there. So, yes, I would say that. Thank you.
In addition, make sure you research everything there is to know about the company you are interviewing for.
Aaron, what initially attracted you to Intercom?
My attraction to Intercom comes from, first off, my background in sales and marketing. I initially started off doing a search for sales and marketing positions within the Seattle area. It's a place where I plan to move to after I graduate in June. Being that Intercom does have a headquarters in Seattle, it's a great fit. Some of the companies I've worked for in the past have been great companies, big companies that are known across the nation, companies that are known for their growth, known for being on the cutting edge, and I think Intercom is one of those companies where I would have the position to grow along with Intercom. Being the 4th largest radio broadcaster in the country, there's certainly some room for growth, and what we've seen continually year after year is Intercom has had the ability to develop new formats, such as the new Jack format you're rolling out nationwide, that really draw listeners in, and that's the type of company that I enjoy being a part of. That's what drew me to Intercom.
Excellent.
So how is it that you do so good in the interview? Well, you practice. You can practice generic questions that will most likely be asked at the interview. Remember certain situations that you have encountered in your past, maybe in employment, in schooling, or outside activities. In addition to that, make sure you research your company inside and out. Practice, practice, practice.
We have a couple minutes left, so do you have any questions for us?
Depending on the interview structure, they may ask if you have any questions for them. Ask away. In fact, make sure you ask a question for them.
Actually, I do have a question. Brett, I noticed that you are dressed in a fine suit today, and I was wondering, what is the attire, the everyday attire that I would be needing to wear and come to work?
Yeah, that's a good question, James. This is dependent on the position. The manufacturing workers are required to wear steel-toe boots, long pants, long shirts. For your position that you are applying for, it's more of a professional attire. A lot of people wear suits, dress shirts, slacks.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, on behalf of myself and my Boeing team, we'd like to thank you for coming in. And you can expect to hear from us in about 2 weeks by phone or via email. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
When you are done, have a good solid handshake with every person with direct eye contact and walk out of the room confidently. You are done with the mock interview.
Thanks, James.
Great meeting. Thank you.
Good meeting you. Thanks for
Nice to
coming
meet you
in.
too. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, sir. You too.
Great day.
Once again, thank you. We will be getting back to you in a week with a phone call. So thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So, check this out. You got the 2 interviewees that have just completed their interview. They will then be escorted out. See those guys looking at the camera right now, the 2 at the end of the table? Okay, so they're going next. So now they're gonna leave the room just as the previous 2 did and wait to be interviewed. Meanwhile, the 2 that just got done with the interview are going to switch with them and take their positions as the interviewers. So now, as you can see, you have a whole new board of interviewers. The other 2 guys are now already waiting outside and are now the interviewees. It is a simple switch depending on the group, but in this case, it's a 2-for-2 switch. Alright, so let's take one last look at this on how to switch. Here it goes. So that's it, everybody. That's the mock interview. I hope you learned something from this video. If not, I'll tell you right now, practice for your interview, and I hope you all do very well. This is Jonathan Thompson, signing off.